Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze is sponsored by Dork Publishing, expanding minds through fantasy since 2018. Learn more at the Dork Publishing website, www.dorcpublishing.com.
I wanna visit all the places nobody goes. I wanna teach all the things that nobody knows. I wanna grow wings, leave the coop, learn to fly. Bungee jump from the tallest building in Dubai. I wanna fly around town in my UFO. I wanna eat real food, not the GMOs. I wanna make moves, call the shots like the boss. I wanna love like I never lost.
Welcome back to Desertwood Days. Today I have joining us the music producers of the video It Matters, Donna Wilde, Richard Palalay, and Cornelius Bishop. Come on now. You see there, I got the names all mixed up.
Hey, I get their names mixed up too.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Such a pleasure. You know, I met you guys at the Worldwide Phoenix Film Festival, Women's Film Festival.
Yes.
It was such a pleasure. I was so in awe of the music video, It Matters. And I said I had to have you guys come back to share it with our audience. So thank you, Mr. Cornelius,
Thank you.
Donna, and Richard.
Thank
Yay,
you.
I got it. So what have you guys been up to since the last time I've seen you?
We have multiple hats. Would you agree with me, guys?
Yes.
Musician, I teach music too. We have been doing everything that musicians do. And so it's been thankfully keeping us very busy.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have each of you introduce yourself and tell, because you guys you're a trio, but you have your own things that you do. So we'll start with Mr. Cornelius here.
Okay. I'm currently in a band called Silhouette, outside of what we do.
Oh.
And we do top 40 jazz, blues, all kinds of music. Recently, I was in a big band project at this club called West Alley Barbecue,
Mm-hmm.
and I sang with a 20-piece orchestra, and it was
Oh, okay.
jazz and blues. That was really exciting. And recently, Donna and Richard and we're writing a song, or we're putting together a song called Misinformation, or
Okay.
Misinfo.
Okay.
And lyrically, it's about all of the things that you hear, misinformation. So we decided to write a song, and we're
So you guys will be
currently
coming back together to do
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, next we have Miss Donna Wilde. Tell them what's your title and
Sure.
what are you working on?
Oh, well, I play saxophone and sing. Those are my major instruments, and I've been doing it since 8 years old. So, there's a lot of things that we've been doing. We have, Richard and I together have a cover band in which we call Play Wild. Palalay. I do that to him a lot. Wild, Play
Oh.
Wild. But when we have our original project where we write our original music, it's Wild Play.
Oh,
And
okay.
so we have a Wild Play channel on YouTube, and we frequently release new music
Okay.
on that channel.
Okay.
So it's very fun.
So Mr. Richard Palalay.
Yeah, as Donna was saying, we have a thing we do together, and it was great because we get to do the cover stuff, and we get
Mhm.
to do our own stuff, and it's an offshoot. I've been a songwriter for decades. I've been
Okay.
fortunate. I had a recording contract back in the 90s with a label, and had that brief touch of notoriety, I guess. My
Yeah.
stuff was released all over the world, and I found out that they say fame, it really is 15 minutes. You get your 15 minutes, it's over just like that. And
Right.
my stuff ended up in the bargain bins at the record stores. So you went
Oh.
from up there to down there. But it makes you, realize that as fleeting as it is, you want to keep doing it because
Mhm.
there's a certain excitement about putting music out there that will resonate with people
Right.
that aren't
right.
your family, people that you don't know. They hear it on the radio, and that's why we got into the thing for entertainment. It's like, well, the next step is, as performers, can we do something in the social context?
Mm.
You know, we can entertain people, make them laugh, make them whatever.
Make them
and
cry.
now
Yes.
it's like there's some relevant social issues that even when we were kids, they were still there. They haven't gone away. It's like now
Right.
as performers, we have.
And you know what? You're
Yeah.
right, because when you speak on social issues, you know, when people think of, say, James Brown, they think of James Brown as an entertainer, a
Yeah,
dancer.
yeah.
But you know what? He touched a lot on
Oh,
social. If you
yes.
really focused and paid attention to the words he was saying, he
yeah.
touched a lot on social issues. I mean, that was a lot that he did
Yeah.
back there on social issues.
Yes.
So, I mean, and I think since you're in the entertainment industry, you have to throw some entertainment in there as well.
Yes. Yes. yes.
So with the three of you, how long have you guys worked together?
9,
Wow.
10 years,
Yeah.
9 or
Something
10
like that,
years.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
met each other.
We met in a show. There was
Mhm.
this lady had put together a show, and she had all this backing. She had these
Uh-huh.
grandiose ideas to make this a big, like a mini Vegas style production.
Oh, okay.
Except that I think we all joke about the biggest positive thing that came out of the show was we met each
Was
other.
you guys.
Yeah.
And
Because-
sometimes, you know what? And sometimes that's good enough.
Yes, because
Right.
the show didn't, even though she
Right.
had the financing and the backing, we would rehearse every week.
Mhm.
We get these jobs,
Mm.
and then we started realizing after a while it really wasn't going where she told us it was going to.
Right.
We would do a show a month. It was going to be a big production, and a show a week, and
Right.
we're doing all these. Like,
Yeah, you know, sometimes people have these big ideas,
Yes.
but they don't know how to execute them and get it there.
mm,
So what you got out of it was what you got out of it, and
Oh,
that was
yeah.
you three meeting each
Yeah,
other.
friendship.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Yes.
We had a few good shows too. We don't want to say that it was all, because it was a good group
Uh-huh.
and we had some good experiences. We were entertained plenty of people,
Right.
Yeah.
and
Well,
which we
that's
love to
awesome.
do.
Yes.
But yeah, then it did fold, and we got to keep each
Right.
other.
Right. That's awesome. So, and you know what? Looking at it in a different way, maybe you guys were able to do some of the things that was supposed to be done with that production, but you guys are taking it on your own productions.
Yeah.
So, we were brought here today because of It Matters. I first of all, I love the name. I love everything about that. And I never forgot it. I mean, even though it took some months for us to get here because of COVID and things that was going on, where did that idea come from?
Well, every now and then I use the social media, and this particular platform that I was on was Facebook, and a friend of mine who was a guitar player who actually knows all of us,
Mhm.
Mr. Jay Soto.
We love him.
Yeah, and this was shortly after the tragic event of like George Floyd,
Mhm.
being murdered,
Mm-hmm.
and Mr. Soto talked about it on Facebook, and then I chimed in. Then we got to talking, and then Donna chimed in
Yeah.
on Facebook. Well, and then something told me to give Donna a call. Every now and then I called her later on that day. I used the social media
an hour.
This
Mhm.
particular platform that I was on was Facebook. I said, why don't we write something about it? A friend of mine who was a guitar player who actually knows all of us.
Mhm.
And
Mr. J.
she called
Soto.
Richard, yeah,
We got
and
together
this
over
was
Donna's.
shortly after
One
the
thing led to
tragic
another,
event
and
then this
like
George
these
Floyd
words came to me,
melodies came to
being-
us,
being
music
murdered.
came to Richard,
Mhm.
and
put the musical puzzle
Mr.
together.
Soto
Mhm.
mentioned, talked
And,
about it on
and-
Facebook,
and,
and then I chimed
you
in.
know,
Then we
part
got
of
to talking,
the-
and then Donna chimed
of the,
in
Yeah.
on Facebook. The lingo was, it was about Black Lives Matter, and people were saying all lives matter, so we came up with the title "It Matters,"
Mm-hmm.
because it does, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the lines in the song, it says, "Don't just talk about it, do something about it," and so that's why we did something about it musically, and we came to this song. And
That
And-
is awesome.
And that's what gave it
Right.
birth.
That is
I was
awesome.
born.
So I want to talk more about the video production also. So we were talking about the creation of It Matters and how it got started. But then you have this idea of what you want to put together. Then yeah, you have the music, the idea. Where did the video itself come from? Where did that idea come from? I mean, because we're gonna see it in a moment, but we it's not just about when you think of something like that. A lot of times, I'm gonna say some videos can be harsh, and if we're talking about things that matters that want to pull people in, sometimes we have to take a different avenue. I mean, showing love and togetherness and stuff. So where did that come from?
Okay, well, after the song was produced, we decided we really need to get as many people as possible to hear this song because it can be very motivating. It seems to be that it could be a motivating song. We were like, hey, we didn't do so bad with this. Let's get it out there, right? So, in order to do that, people like a video to go along with
Right.
the audio.
Right.
So we began to talk about that, and we actually got 2 editors interested in our project, and they're both great. So we have 2 versions of this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, the one we'll see today is the one by Joy Bazanis, and then there's another one by Andrew Kinchin, which is equally wonderful. And so we were excited that we had 2 editors interested in joining our project. But because it was during COVID, during the pandemic, we had some extra challenges because you couldn't even sit next to each other, you know. So we began by asking our colleagues in the Valley to listen to the song and would they be interested in joining us. And many of them said they would be. And then family and friends, because during the chorus there's a part you can sing along with the chorus. And so we reached out to them, and a lot of them said, yes, I'm in. So we got people learning the song, learning the chorus, and learning the music. The musicians would play along, and the family and friends and colleagues would sing along. So yeah, they learned the piece. And then, Richard, do you want to talk about how the challenges of the...
Well, why don't we hold that piece why don't we watch the media first so we give people, our audience, a gist of what you were talking about here.
Do something about it.
Don't just talk about it. Because if not, it's just words.
So don't just talk about it. Do something about it.
One day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream.
Why should it matter? Because it does. Not just for me, but it should to all of us. People say they won't change, and not just taking down the statue to rectify, because all it does is pacify the left, the right, black or white. So why label us? Just because it makes you feel superior? Because one has achieved success shouldn't make you feel inferior. Make no mistake about it, this is a pandemic, and not just COVID-19, but racism.
Don't just talk about it,
Don't
please.
just
Something about it, 'cause if not, it's just words.
It's only words.
Don't just talk about it, please. Something about it, 'cause if not, it's just words.
we chant Black Lives Matter, and you reply, all lives matter, but black lives are dying and their voices not heard.
So many are dying, their voices
Not heard. So absurd.
Don't just talk about.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
Totally awesome. I love the diversity. In their performance and everything. Some of them really got into it. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that. So, Richard, I believe it was you were talking about how this all came together.
Yeah, that when we talked about music video can be one of two things. As we all know, that people can shoot a video and it's the band or the artist performing, or they do a lot of the visual. And I watch a lot of movies, and over the years I've been hired to put together shows, and so a show always tells a story.
Right.
And this video, I talked to Donna and Cornelius, and said it has to tell a story. We can
Right.
put in pictures of us and the other performers, but there has to be an impact. Visually, it has to have an impact, and it has to tell a mini story, and we only have a few minutes to tell that story. So that's why shooting it in black and white, we thought it's just, when you see the most powerful images in the world have always been the starkness of black and white, where it's newspaper headlines, and then go to that. But the story it's all done in that. The performers are all in this, and it leads to, in the end, it goes to this point where there's an American flag, but then it goes to full color, and the underlying theme is, this is the United States of America. We're all in this together. There's no you or them or us and you. We're all Americans. And so that's the whole point. And Dr. King's statement at the end, it's just, and we just tried to tie that all together with the performance. We wanted to show other people doing the performing, because that was a big part, getting the community.
But it was
together.
bigger than that. It was the message that was what you were trying to get across.
Yes.
So, how hard was that for you guys? During that time, like we said, it was COVID time, and you guys are doing it via Zoom or whatever platform you were using.
Yeah.
It took, it took such a long time. I think we started April of 2000 and
and we couldn't get together. We were all isolated, so we had to produce things at home. And then when they put out the word to everybody, nobody wanted to physically get together. They were saying, well, and the video would be impossible to shoot with everybody standing 6 feet apart. If you had 30 people, you would need a very wide shot from a helicopter or something. So it wasn't going to be feasible, and then the whole thing would Zoom turn out. So, but then COVID, it started to ease up a little bit. So we were able to
get some
get some of it together. But we liked the idea of that, because showing the individual, that was the one cool thing, if you could call that cool, coming out of COVID with Zoom. It's just like the individual, people could send in their excerpts, and then we just put it. But it was, for the editors, that was
tough.
That was, I remember we spent hours with Joy and all of these. She got images from everybody, and not everything, she made it clear it had to be this certain format, it had to be this certain resolution. So we were getting all kinds, and there were about a third that couldn't be used because they were so low grade, or it was just like, well, you're supposed to be in the shop, but where are you?
We learned a lot.
One last question before we run out of time. Did It Matters make the impact that you wanted it to make, do you think?
Locally, it did pretty well.
Oh.
But we, of course, would love for it to still be heard,
Mhm.
because the message is age old. It's age old. It's been going
Right.
on for centuries, and it will continue. It's I hope that it's getting a little better. The racial relations,
Mhm.
but obviously it's still challenging, and so we just want to keep playing it and make more music about it.
And continue to get it out there.
Well,
Yes.
that's what we
Right.
feel like.
And that's what it's
yeah.
about, continue to
With
get it
places.
out there, submitting it
Yeah.
outside of Phoenix to other festivals and different places.
Sure.
And
It's
so-
a challenge.
And that's why
I
it
mean,
got into the festival. Somebody noticed
Yep.
it and said, this has a lot of relevance.
Right.
And so the
And
film
especially
festival-
right now.
Exactly.
I mean, with
right
all we've
now.
experienced over the
Yeah.
last couple of months.
Yeah.
So where can our audience find you and learn more about It Matters?
Will we have it up on the Wild Play channel on
Okay.
YouTube?
Okay.
And Cornelius, do you have it up on your website? We
Um,
have a website called Wild Play. It's up
Okay.
on there. Silhouette.
Well, the actual video is on YouTube,
Yep.
but the song is on
That's true.
Pandora,
Yeah.
Spotify,
Mhm. Music
iTunes.
streams.
Okay. But if someone wanted to find you guys, where would be the best place for the group? Except you guys have
Yeah, wildplay.com.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
that was-
and we encourage people to look at it, and by all means, but share it. Because
right. That's the
it's
thing,
a very
is sharing
important
it.
message. Share it with your neighbors, your
Share it.
family, your
Yes.
friends, because it's timely, as you said. It's a timely
Right.
message and hasn't gone away. So.
That is true. Well, it was such a pleasure having you guys here
Thank you.
today.
Thank you,
What's
Kat.
next for Wild Play?
Oh, we're just keep trucking along doing what we do. We have the energy that'll keep us motivated. There are so many things to write about.
Right.
So
right,
many things.
Right. And you just mentioned earlier when
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
misinfo. Yeah.
Okay,
Miss
well,
info.
we'll be
Yes.
on the lookout for more from Wild Play. Thank you for joining us here at Desert Days, and we will catch you next time.
Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze was sponsored by Dork Publishing. Visit them at dorkpublishing.com.